Warning, the following program contains adult language, adult themes, and spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of This Week's Episode. This is episode 237 for the week of September 16th, 2021, and I am your host, Evan Goldstein. With me, as always, is a woman whose fandom of Harry Potter and Doctor Who may be colliding, Karen Randazzo.
Gonna be famous 5 ever.
The guy who destroyed my hopes and dreams of a Moon Knight trailer, Chris Randazzo.
Woozle wuzzle?
And the woman who may barely make it through this episode, Angie Varnott.
Language.
All right, my turn. Check this shit out. All right, joining me tonight, as always, is holiday surprise, Karen Randazzo.
I'm gonna be famous 5 ever.
Animated Tomb Raider, Angie Fernand.
You're toast.
And musical Steve Rogers, Evan Goldstein.
I'm having this weird sense of deja vu.
Dueling
Back
hosts.
to you, Evan.
As you can see, we haven't fully decided who's going to be hosting this episode.
Nobody cares.
It's the news week.
I wrote the nicknames, goddammit. I was going to use them.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
sweating everywhere. That's my new nickname.
So, first and foremost, hey everybody. I know it's been a minute. I think the first time was my fault because I got sick, and then it's just been like, it feels like 6.5 months since the last time we recorded. But we are doing the news this week, and then next week we're going to go back to our normal, no scheduling issues whatsoever, because everybody is going to be happy and healthy and not as sleep deprived as some of us are now, and yeah. But
You know, you saying something like that really makes me think you haven't seen TV before.
it's true. It's so true.
I don't know what you're talking about. Literally.
It's been a couple of weeks. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we in our house we're doing a lot of planning for future endeavors, and then the apocalypse came through here, and I think it's all Angie's fault because she told me to go out. She told me to socialize with
you know
people.
what? Listen, just go watch your fucking Pee Wee Herman over here and leave me alone. Okay? I don't need this.
Did you hear this? We were on a walk yesterday, and it turns out that my soon-to-be wife has never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Man, we just had this conversation on a theater near you, like, last week or something. Like, you could just, to quote Silent Bob, you could, or to paraphrase Silent Bob, you could just about fill the Grand Canyon with the shit I haven't seen.
See?
In fact, Sean and Paul are arranging a watch party to come over here so that I can see Big Trouble in Little China for the first time.
Oh,
that's Sean
cool.
Doyle's favorite movie, and I've never seen it before.
That's a good one. I like that one. I've seen that one.
Jeez, but you haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Because nobody cares. He's creepy and he's a child molester.
Anywho, no, he's not.
He looks like one.
He's a self-toucher. He's not a kid toucher.
That just made it worse. Somehow I feel like it did. It's made it worse.
Listen, what else are you supposed to do in one of those seedy porn theaters? Like, that's what the boxes of popcorn are for.
Wait, is that what the show was about?
No,
Did Pee-wee have a
Pee-wee
show?
Herman
Oh
got
my god. What is
arrested for.
happening? No. Stop it. That's what
Stop ruining my childhood. So we had a Pee-wee doll when I was a kid, and he pulled the string and it said things, and eventually that part broke, and then we outgrew the toy, and it wasn't played with anymore, but it was still around the house. And then that story came out about him like exposing himself in a movie theater, and my father took the hand of the doll and put it down the doll's pants, and like it stayed that way forever. Like we just kept it around the house and always laughed at it.
I have this crazy theory that you could just get rid of the fucking thing because it's so creepy, but no, just shove the hand down the pants and leave it.
That's how you're supposed to do things.
I mean,
It's
by
like a
that
Pee-wee
point,
on
we
a
were
shelf.
old enough to get the joke and not be traumatized by it.
I'd still be traumatized. I'm still traumatized.
The name of comedy.
So let's progress. Chris, Karen, what have you guys been watching this week? This week,
New Girl.
Really?
Yes.
Damn near
A lot of-
constantly.
A lot of New Girl.
Who's that girl?
Oh, that's funny because we're watching.
We are in the home stretch on New Girl. We're on the second to last season, and the last season is like truncated. So we're almost through this show, and I gotta say, the season where Schmidt and Cece get married was pretty freaking great. I was starting to feel like, all right, I'm totally into this show still, but yeah, it's kind of lost a step. And then they picked it right back up again. That season was great. And then the top chunk of this season's been like, all right, I'm done. All right, here's what I'm done with. I'm done with Nick and Jess not being together. Okay, I am. The payoff for Doofy Dude that they eventually got Jess together with was like, come on, don't do this show. You're better than this. Just move past this. Don't put her together with him. That's a terrible idea. And the joke about him turning out to be her cousin or something like that was kind of a good payoff. I'm not going to lie. But it was not worth the torture of all this. And Nick is still with
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Stop. Come on, man. Just stop. Just we know where this is going. Just get there. Because everything else is going well. I'm liking everything with Winston and the other characters and stuff. Just
his cat.
Just done.
Ferguson.
Yeah, Ferguson's great.
Ferguson, a.k.a. Sweatshirt.
that was weird. It was weird, but I'm into it. It's a fantastic show, and I'm glad to finally be seeing the rest of it, because we used to watch it when it was airing, and then we just kind of stopped being able to watch it. And now here we are in the golden age of streaming, and we can watch all the New Girl we want. And yeah, it's a great show. It just needs to get where it is going, because I am done with the two of them will they won't they. Like, all right, I get it, they're fighting and Jess is being the girlfriend. Just do it already. Just kiss.
It's so funny to hear him say that, because it's usually me.
It's kind of adorable.
I'm really enjoying this. I like being on the flip side. God, that's like how I feel about you with Ryan Reynolds, honey.
It's true. We really need to kiss by now.
Will they, won't they?
And you're feeding into that because you sent me his TikTok. Like out of nowhere.
Oh, the one where he's singing?
Yes.
No, his account.
I sent the whole account, yes, but it was because of the one where he was singing, because, oh my God, everything about it. Will Ferrell, thank you. Give me more.
And so it was just Evan, I'll be in my bunk, and
I was already in my bunk.
Days.
It was
Yeah, that was the creepiest part about it, I think, on my end, because I literally just sent it to him and was like, "You're welcome," and I was in another room so he could have like his privacy with Ryan Reynolds.
Just came out really dehydrated. Getting some serious
My
Paul
one
Rubens
arm-
vibes
my
off
one
of this
arm
situation
hurting.
here.
Yeah, he was definitely a little sore. Like, I saw him favoring one hand over the other. It was weird. I don't want to talk
I'm
about
glad
it.
you got that one. That didn't soar over your head, so thanks for being on the same wavelength here.
That's why we're married, dear.
Indeed. Karen and I have also been watching Ted Lasso,
Yes.
show. It's so good.
which continues to be magical, and Roy Kent continues to be one of my favorite characters in all of television. Oh, wait, back to New Girl. I finally pieced together. I love Nick Miller so much because he's basically Sean Doyle.
Okay.
Just wanted to. We were watching one episode, and I just paused. I was like, "Oh my God, Nick Miller is Sean Doyle." And there it is.
That's why you like it?
Anyway, Ted Lasso.
Here's to you,
So-
Sean Doyle.
If there was any like inkling that the first chunk of this season was like, it's still great, but it's missing just a little bit of something, they really got it back in the last two episodes in particular. Like, they were just really setting us up for some business.
Yeah, they had some really, like, huge emotional beats.
Yeah,
feels like every
I
episode-
take it you've been watching it, Evan.
Yeah, I'm. Yes, I am, and it's. I think one of the only shows in this house that I'm watching. Like we watch by myself.
That we don't
like,
share,
we don't
yeah.
share it. Which is a shame because I think you would really enjoy this show.
It's not. I'm not opposed to watching it. I just want to point that out. It's literally just because like you're so far ahead, and I hate making people like accommodate me.
There's not a lot of it. They go by very fast. It's such an enjoyable show. The characters
I would
are
have
great.
been happy to. Karen's mom was here fairly recently, and we wound up watching the first like half of season 1 or something like that. We watched a couple episodes. It's like I'm into just keeping going on this, and they're like, no, new girl, focus. But no,
get your shit together, Chris.
I'll rewatch that show over and over again. Like it's phenomenal. And yeah, no, you're not that far behind. There's not a ton of episodes of it, and seriously, rewatching it is a pleasure. It is a genuine privilege to rewatch. So yeah, don't feel left behind. Get in on this train, because it's just wonderful. But man.
Falling for that show has made it a bit strange now that American football has come back. I'm like used to looking at big open green fields with like guys kicking a soccer ball around it, and all of a sudden my regular American football team is on, and I'm like, wait, this isn't right. No, this is right. This is what I'm used to, but I haven't seen it in a while. And I was watching the other thing.
I don't remember what show I was watching, but it had to be something from the BBC, and Jamie showed up on the show, and he was running on a treadmill, and I was like, "What? Where do I recognize? Oh my God, that's Jamie! He did something before."
Jamie Tart doo 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 doo.
Jamie Tart.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So the previous episode, they haven't really rectified yet. Nate's got to get his shit together. Okay, I'm just saying that right now.
Okay, so wait, Nate.
It's the Indian assistant coach.
Oh yeah, I don't like him. He's starting
the Wonder
to turn.
Kid.
Yeah,
and like it's definitely moving in a direction for him. He's going to need to be re-humbled, but he's overcorrecting, right? Because he had zero confidence, and then like good things are happening. Now he's getting overconfident. He's got to rein that shit in, like Beard said to him. He's, do better. So, and I'm sure he will, but. And it needs to be addressed, because I like Nate. I love Nate. I love that guy, and he needs to do better. But then also, like, really, it was this moment came back to me a handful of times throughout the week of just like rethinking of what a killer moment that was. But when in the most recent episode, when Roy hugged Jamie, that was just that.
Killer.
So that show has shown Roy Kent so much progression without actually changing the character. Because he's still Roy Kent, and he still says the things that he says, and he does the things that he does. But every episode shows him growing a little bit more without
because
changing.
They do it in a way that's him. He's not necessarily growing in a traditional fashion. It's just like unlocking the person that he already is. Just kind of be like, you can do this, so do it. Like,
what episode?
Fuck.
Right. What episode was it where he figured out about his relationship, that whole space? Like, that was adorable. Like, he is so curmudgeonly and so horrible, but he's my favorite character on that show.
No one here is surprised.
But it's not for that. You would like the character.
He's probably my favorite character on the show too. He's just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Sort of.
I read I think a facetious fan theory about how that guy was too perfect and he couldn't possibly be real, and the theory is that he's actually CGI.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And then he posted a response from his Twitter account addressing it and why he thought it was ridiculous. And of course he was a completely normal human man, and he put like a filter on him, so it was an emoji head of him talking, not his actual face.
That's awesome.
He's like, yes, of course I'm a normal man. It's just that I happen to live in a visual effects house, and I do totally normal things like rendering and buffering.
Ted Lasso is such a good show. It took me by surprise. Really came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, I was into trying it, and then it just really grabbed me. It's so good, so good.
The only show currently outside of the paranormal stuff, because I'm just straight up caught up with them, that I watch on a weekly basis, like actively hunt it down so I get it every week.
Well, for us, it's Ted Lasso and What If, which is still a good time.
Yeah,
So the Zombies episode was pretty cool.
Yeah,
the Zombies one was nice and funny and somewhat stupid. And I remember a bunch of people complaining about that online, like, man, they could have done so much. Zombies, so much things they didn't do, and I'm like, okay, but it was really funny.
And it was hour.
Yeah, it was a Marvel Zombies story. Like,
What did you want?
I like the fact that it was Marvel Zombies meets Futurama.
Yeah,
because
the Paul Rudd head in the jar was
fantastic. Like, perfect.
Yeah, no,
Of course it would be him.
Yeah.
That episode was pitch perfect to me. It didn't do a whole lot of like really crazy stuff.
Wait,
Weren't the two before that pretty heavy? Like there was the
Yes.
Doctor Strange one and something
those
else.
were emotional.
Yeah, this was a
rollercoasters.
nice little break in that department. And
See, but what you get on the internet is, as soon as that episode came out and everybody watched it, like the internet went crazy with, finally, What If has answered the question about the Marvel universe that hasn't been answered since Spider-Man came into and I'm like, what? This is What If. This can't be real. What is the big deal? And it's like, yeah, Uncle Ben exists.
he
Of course he
mentioned
fucking
Uncle Ben.
exists. It's Spider-Man. Like, What? Okay. The internet's.
I was still dissatisfied with the fact that we didn't really get an end to that episode. They're like, we're gonna go to Wakanda, and then it ends, and I was like, a fucking what now? Like, I have a hard time with not getting a resolution.
Well, all the other ones pretty much got resolution in some way.
That's why I
shape,
had
or
a problem.
form.
Yeah. And it's not that it's
the
bad.
resolution in season 2.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is that kind of situation. But I'm not mad about it. Like, I still think the episodes are good. I don't know. They're cool premises. I think I'm just having a hard time because they can be really heavy, and after the first one, setting the tone of kicking ass and being awesome. I think I was not prepared emotionally for some of the heaviness of these episodes.
Yeah, it's all in all, I'm not blown away by the show, but I'm happy it's there. It's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It's definitely my least favorite of the TV series that have been so far. But I mean, that's what WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki have all been pretty damn good. So
Yeah.
Or it's like complaining about my least favorite sandwich that I like. It's like, well, this is still delicious. It's just not as delicious as the other ones, and that's fine. It's a very nice little chunk to break things up there.
Yeah, there's no real heavy stakes in it too, which is nice. It's something to just watch.
But I'm still so attached to the characters that I still root for them, and I'm like, no, why? Even if it's another universe, I'm just like, I want you all to win and make good choices. No? Okay, well, that's why it's What If.
The episode where Ant-Man is killing everybody was like, I don't pay attention to the internets before actually watching it, so I'm getting very minimal spoilers. And I read, what if the world lost the mightiest heroes? I'm like, ooh, so this is going to be a what if people start getting picked off? Who's going to be the killer? And when they revealed that, I went, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when they revealed, I was like, oh yeah, it's Hank. Of course it's Hank.
Yeah, that checks out. Watching
Hank
the Hulk
goes
explode,
crazy, kills a bunch of people. Yeah, that's
awesome.
happened before. Yeah.
Watching the Hulk explode from the face down was awesome.
That one was wild because it was like, oh wow, this is like Mark Ruffalo doing Ed Norton's Hulk movie. This is weird.
Yeah.
that was very weird, but also like really kind of hammering home that movie is 100% canon. There's no getting around it. Which I wouldn't want to. I like that movie, but still, it feels a little out of place because of how early it is and when they were making these movies and whatnot. It doesn't really fit extremely well. And Ed Norton's Hulk was so different from Mark Ruffalo's.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a direct sequel to that movie. I would really like to see a proper follow up to it, because Leader more or less happened in there, and I want to see that. I want to see that payoff. Like they did the goop in the dude's brain, and his head started getting all big. It's like, that guy's gonna be Leader, and I want to see that happen. And well, who knows, right? Who the hell knows where the MCU is going?
What if?
What if we got a Hulk sequel?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of ties into my whole wondering about this series, which is like, how much is this actually going to be tied into canon? Because they really could go any of, 360 degrees of directions with this. They could be like, nope, this is just what if, and, it's not, none of this has any ties to the actual MCU that you follow, or we're headed for a multiverse. This could be like one of the verses in the multiverse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Multiple of the verses.
So when it came to the comic books world, the DC universe very much played on the multiverse, where there were multiple Supermen and Batmen, and when it came to Marvel, it was really just two of them. The 616 and the Ultimate Universe. They really didn't branch out that far, where there were so many different Spider-Men. There were two, unless you count clones, then that's a different thing. But I really just want this to be what it is, to be fun what-ifs. Just like the books were. They weren't canon. They were just, hey, what if Aunt May became cosmically powered? That's the kind of shit that I want to see, that has nothing to do with canon, that is just fun. So we'll see.
I'm digging it. We'll see where it all lands. Karen, do you want to pick up from here? I got a few more shows that I've been watching myself, but if you want to jump in there and take a turn, go nuts.
I don't think I talked about it last time. I watched the quick 4-episode season of Grace and Frankie, which I didn't know was. I feel like if I knew it was happening, it was so long ago that I forgot that it was happening, and I thought the show was over. And then all of a sudden, there were 4 new episodes on my Netflix, and I'm like, okay, I'll take more. But it was such a short season, and so far removed from the last time I saw it, that I was kind of like, this feels unnecessary. It's fine, but I don't really care that much. So, it was like one night of entertainment, and that was fine. And the other thing I watched is I'm current on Brooklyn Nine-Nine for this final season.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're
not.
Hey, remember when there was a crossover episode in New Girl? That was weird.
Really? You call that a crossover? I mean, I was kind of disappointed. I wanted more.
I feel like I saw the Brooklyn Nine-Nine half of that when I binged Brooklyn Nine-Nine a year or two ago, and I was like, oh hey, it's just from New Girl. I used to watch that show, and now a couple years later, I'm seeing the other half of the crossover. But you're right, it was not really as integrated a crossover as it could have been.
I want someone to get arrested.
It was just kind of like a cameo. It wasn't.
So I can appreciate what they're doing on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, trying to talk about policing from a different perspective, a more realistic perspective, despite it being a comedy. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if they were going to continue with the show, that they did have to do that. But it's so heavy-handed. It's so after-school specially.
Really?
That's what I feel like. It's just... I appreciate them doing it, but it's meant to be a comedy show, and I don't think the writers know how to mesh the comedic baseline of the show with this very serious, important, relevant current event topic that is related.
Have they done anything drama-esque in that show at all?
They've actually covered some pretty good topics before, where they've covered things like discrimination and like racial inequality, and like, I mean, Ray Holt's story in and of itself is one that comes from a place of like, you know, I'm gonna do this my way. But they've always done it in a way that like it never felt heavy-handed or preachy. It sounds like they're kind of losing that on their current approach, based on what Karen is saying.
Yeah, it just seems like kind of like anti-racism 101.
Right.
Like, where they take, like, textbook, you know, things that people need to learn about racism and put them in the mouths of characters in a way that they would never say those things normally. It's just like, I see what you're doing. And some people are better at it than other. Like, the Rose's character, I feel like deals with it pretty well because she's quit the precinct over the George Floyd protests and gone out on her own as a PI. She's still on the show. But she felt like as a person of color, she couldn't stay with the police. Whereas you still see Holt there, you still see Terry, you still see Amy. So I don't know. It's good. It was always gonna be an impossible task for them to accomplish. You know, making it a satisfying final season, filming it during COVID, and then tackling this topic of, like, you know, police reform and trying to make it all funny.
Yeah, and it's not something you can really avoid because it's a fucking cop show. Like,
exactly. If you ignored it, you would just continue to be part of the problem. So it was kind of an impossible task, and I guess they're doing the best that they. It's still a good show. It just has this impossible bar to reach.
Right.
But I recommend, if you're a fan, I wouldn't say like, oh, it's terrible, don't bother.
Oh, I will never say that about that
we
show.
Will actively, like, that's the thing. Like, I caught up. I actually may have passed Angela's watching level. Like, she was at a certain episode and season, and I have passed that, so I have stopped. Like, I powered through a bunch of seasons of that because I didn't really like it. I was never a big fan of it, but I never gave it a chance. It wasn't just like, it was just something that was never on my radar, and Angela's a huge fan of it. Like, it's your ringtone kind of thing.
I fucking love that show so much.
So I started watching it, and it's a fun show. It
is.
It's a good time. So,
and it's something that, honestly, you know what we should do instead of me watching the stuff I've been watching? We should just work on that.
That's fine.
Tomorrow.
I'm okay with that.
That's a good strategy, because if tomorrow's anything like today, I'm going to be basically useless.
You're not useless. We love you.
Oh no, I'm very useless right now. Me and that couch have gotten well acquainted the last couple days.
It happens, baby.
At any rate, that's about it for me. I did blow through. The kids are back in school. Hooray! And if you're listening to this and thinking, like, why is she celebrating? I've heard things are terrible in schools with COVID, and our state is doing pretty well with COVID, so it is a safe thing and a good thing that our kids are in school. We're not, like, fearing for our lives unlike other parts of this country.
It's true.
But the kids being back in school means that, like, we can go back to sitting in our home offices, separated by a floor from each other, and have whatever we want on our computers all day. And so I forget what the hell I was finishing, but I finished it, and then I was like, I'm just going to watch Firefly real quick, so I did that.
Awesome.
I saw that. That warms my heart. I do have a question, though. You had requested something.
I have only seen the first 3, so I'm going to wait to finish it before I talk about it.
Okay.
Is that what we watched today?
Because I think there's only 8.
Yeah, we watched the first one, and it was weird because I laughed or it was nothing. like no emotion, not negative, not positive. It was either I was laughing at it or I was just sitting there blankly staring at the screen.
But I did have to ask him, I was like, why are you watching this? Because it seems so outside the realm of what he would normally watch. And I was very concerned for a moment. And I was like, are you having a psychotic break? And then he was like, no, Karen requested this. And
Karen requested it, and it's Busy. Is that how you say her name?
Busy Phillips, yeah.
Busy
The
Phillips.
show is called Girls 5 Eva, and it's about a like late 90s, early 2000s girl band who was like 20 years later getting another shot at fame.
yeah, and that's all we should say for now. I just thought it was really funny that I saw him watching it, and I was like, what's happening, and are you okay?
There's one thing that I do have to mention. The one of the girl who's no longer with the group because of reasons. During her interview, she was like, and this is my 7th band, and then she rattles off all 7 bands. Like, I found that hysterical. But this one's the
that's
real
the
one.
way
This
it was
one's gonna
with girl
laugh.
groups at that time.
Yeah.
Just cranking them out. But yes, I will talk more about Girls 5 Eva when I finish it on the next episode.
Cool. I
Sweet.
just wanted to make sure. All right.
And honey, did you have something else?
Yeah,
Chris,
well,
wake up.
In the in the realm of watching TV in the background, yesterday it occurred to me that what was my favorite thing to have on in the background before I had kids? Law and Order.
Get the
Chonk, chonk.
fuck out. Are you
Yes.
really doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love the original Law and Order so very much. And I used to love having it on in the background while I was working or just doing things around the house. Like way back in the old days, they would turn on TNT, where it would basically be playing 24 hours a day.
A gift
It'd just
that
be
I
constant-
gave Chris was a hard drive with all of Law and Order on it.
That's a true friend right there.
That's a friend right there. Anywho, sorry.
So no, I can't really. Most of my job now requires a lot of my attention, so I can't get through it as quick as I used to. But I started at the first episode of the series because it's been years and years since
4 or 5
I've seen
weeks
every
now.
episode dozens of times over the years, but it's been a very long time since I've watched this series. So I went back to the first one. I hadn't seen that one in forever, which was pretty fun to look at. It had a young Leo McGarry from West Wing on there as the dad of a girl who got effectively murdered in the hospital from a drunk doctor prescribing bad medicine. Was the way that one went down. The original season, the earlier seasons are very TV of that era, so there's like some very soap opera-esque music kind of in the background, but it's still great. It still works exactly as well as it ever did. The one I watched today was the second episode, which was funny because the girl who was on trial was played by Cynthia Nixon, and one of the two main cops on this detectives on the series is Chris Noth. So it was like this. I didn't realize that Cynthia Nixon and Chris Noth acted together before Sex and the City. So it was like kind of a weird little situation there, seeing the two of them. And goodness gracious, she must have been really young too. Like, she looked like unrecognizable at first, like, because she just looked like a 21-year-old girl or something. I was like, oh my god, I think that's Cynthia Nixon. And I was like, holy shit, it is.
What is she? Which character was she on Sex and the City?
Miranda.
Oh, okay. I had a feeling that's who you were referring to. All right, cool. Keep going.
So yeah, having Law and Order back in my life as a background thing, like while I'm eating lunch, because that's the other thing, and I guess we haven't really talked about it, but I assume that we're kind of okay in this little situation because Karen and I are like, we're in the same house, we're working, and we technically have lunch around the same time, but we don't really like spend lunch together. And I'm assuming it's because the two of us have been in the same house all day every day for like a year and a half. So it's like, you know what? If we don't talk over lunch, that's fine for a little bit,
You pop in your earbuds, I'll pop in mine.
Yeah, we're eating like in the common area, but we're just kind of not really paying attention to each other. And it's been pretty fun just watching TV and kind of doing a few things on my own. So the other thing that I jumped back into, and I'm waiting for an opportunity to properly watch it, because this I can't background watch. I want to actually see what's happening. Over in our Discord chat, we were having a big Star Trek conversation, and it came up, somebody mentioned Picard. I was like, oh, right, I started that show, and then I never finished it. So I went back and I watched the 4th episode of Picard. And yeah, I really like that show. It is very, very interesting.
I thought you got further than that the first time around.
Nah, I only made it to the 3rd episode, and then I stopped watching it because it wasn't something that Karen was watching with me, and I never had exactly 0 time to watch TV on my own. And I used the little tiny bit of time I did have to do stuff like Star Wars and whatnot. But I had a night to myself the other night, and I was like, no, Picard, I'm jumping into this. Jumping back in, and I was very easy to pick up where I left off and like kind of remember what was going on. And it's a super interesting show. And man, I love Star Trek Next Generation, and I love Deep Space Nine. Was never able to get into Voyager. I liked what I saw of Enterprise. There's so much of it I'd love to watch. I'd love to rewatch Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, but that's
a lot.
That's so many hours of TV, and like I'd want to watch it. You know,
that was the thing I struggled with because I was watching Next Gen, and I really, really liked it. But like, I think I got to the 2nd or 3rd season, and it was just really hard because it was exactly that time commitment. Like, it was meant to be something that I would put on in the background, and I could not effectively put that show on in the background. Like, there were just too many things that I thought were interesting or like fun to look at, or like visual cues on the show. Like, it was too new to me, and it was too interesting, and it wasn't something that I could like work while that was on. And because of that, I've never actually like taken the time to finish watching that show.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen every episode of it. I'm pretty sure I did. I used to watch it with my dad when it was airing. So that's the reason, like, just like you, I can't background watch it because I don't know it backwards and forwards. I know it. I know it well enough because I've seen pretty much all of it. Same with Deep Space Nine, but I watched it as it aired. And background watching has got to be for stuff that I just know.
Yeah.
Because if I got to pay attention to it at all, I'm going to do that. And no matter what my job is, I would always rather be watching TV. So if it's something that I'm more interested in, that I just, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm not going to get my work done. So it's impossible to background watch that. And it's years of television. Those shows ran for a long time, and there's a lot of them. But anyway, Picard's great. I know there was a sect of the Star Trek fandom that really didn't care for it. And I guess I kind of understand a little bit of it. It's a little bit more gruff than Star Trek had been in the past, but you know, it's a spin-off show, and I think it's allowed to be. And you know, Jean-Luc Picard is great. I love me some Patrick Stewart. The cast is wonderful. We just got to the episode where we saw 7 of 9, but she was a Voyager character, so I don't know a ton about her. I feel like there must have been some sort of crossover where her and Picard met.
Borg,
but it's not.
Right? Didn't she become a Borg?
I think she was a Borg. That's why she's 7 of 9. But she was like a Borg that wasn't bad.
Well, I mean, it was a Borg situation with her and Picard. I remember that. Like, it might have been in one of the movies or something.
Yeah, in a movie, that's probably where it happened, and I haven't seen the movies. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I'll have to look into it. Not that it really matters all that much. I understand the characters enough to follow it in the show, but it's super interesting. Like, there's so much of this. A chunk of the show is happening on a decommissioned Borg cube, which is like really interesting to me. Like, it's freaking wild. I love it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been up to actually something TV related that's not just like I watched some more DuckTales with the kids. Yeah.
I mean, you still do that, but still, because DuckTales is amazing.
I was gonna say
I have to finish it. I haven't really had time to do that with the kids, but every now and then I'll get around to it because I got like 5 episodes of Justice League left before we can move on to the next show. But like, we've stopped doing Justice League every night because they've wanted to get involved in some other things like board games and Mario Party and whatnot, and which is all great. But like, we're so close, guys. Like, we're almost there, and I want to watch Avatar again with you guys, and I really want to watch it with Karen. So let's finish off Justice League so we can get on top of that. And I'm suggesting that right now we kind of change things up where we get the kids get to choose. You know, all right, you get to choose what we do one night, then you get to choose the other night. I think that Karen and I should get to be involved in that rotation, just like in movie night.
Yeah, I concur with that statement.
That way we can force the kids to do
vote
things that
matters,
we want. a couple of days a week.
All right, John, we're sitting down. We're watching Law and Order.
This is D.A. Jack McCoy. He's a very important figure in your life, okay?
I've dedicated a lot of time.
Just call him Grandpa Jack.
Perfect.
So what have you guys been watching besides each other die?
Yeah.
I guess I can go first since it's a pretty short list for me. I'm doing, don't ask me why, it's because I'm sick and incoherent. That's my only excuse. I'm doing a rewatch of Bones. I wasn't planning this.
It just happened.
Yeah, because I have like my comfort shows, and we know Supernatural is at the top of that list. And I realized I have a disturbingly minimal amount of Supernatural themed things at our wedding. I need to fix that.
Yeah,
Just putting that out there.
Okay, good enough.
Need to remedy these. But I was like, I'm just going to put on some Supernatural. I feel like crap, and this would make me feel better. And then I was like, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to ignore all of the other television out there and just put on Supernatural again. And then I was like, so I'll just ignore it with Bones, which I've actually seen most of those seasons. So I'm making great choices. But I pretty much, I was just going to skip an episode here and there in season 1 and then skip an episode here and there to get through season 2 and 3 and 4. Because I wanted to kind of fast forward toward the end because I think I had seen all but the last season essentially, but there were references to things that I was like, I don't understand. And then the last season brings back a character from the first season, so now I'm like, no, I gotta watch this. I want to know what the hell happened. Why did this character go down such a dark path? So now I'm somehow invested in this. I don't understand why I do this. I really don't.
So let's not bury the lead here. We are on season 1, episode 17 now.
Yeah.
We have watched all 17 episodes
for no good reason. For
it's
no
a great
good reason.
Show.
It's
a very good show.
It's a fun show. It's so nice to see David Boreanaz have a personality and not mope all the time. Because by the time he was on Angel, even on Angel, sometimes I was like, dude, just go stand in the sun. Just go do it. Just do yourself a fucking favor. And then he was fucking sunproof.
We just watched it where they were all the squints were like, okay, we have to do what they do. Let's try to make up the story as opposed to use our guts like he does. And they all do an impersonation of David Boreanaz from that show, and they were all spot on. It was so well done. It's an adorable show. What else you watching?
I started watching Angel Beats, which is an anime. I'm watching that with a friend of mine because her husband is away for work, and I was like, okay, well, I'm your friend. I'll be your friend, and we'll watch an anime. And then, of course, I start watching it. I'm like, fuck, now I'm into this. So that's cool. I'm 4 episodes into that, and I couldn't wait. I was getting really annoyed at the story. And it's only 13 episodes, and I was like, okay, I know this is going to go somewhere. It's Japanese shit. It's going to turn around. It's going to rip my heart out. It's going to step on it because that's the kind of stuff she makes me watch. So I Googled what's going to happen with the story because I was like, I need to be prepared for this. And I was actually making pretty good predictions, so I stopped, and now I'm not 100% on where the story is going to end, but I have enough information that I now feel informed and prepared. And
so you turned to the last page of the book and read half of the page?
Essentially, yeah. I needed it. It had to happen. I just couldn't handle the emotional stress. So I've been watching a little bit of that, some British baking show. Evan, my dearest, my love, got more episodes of Paranormal Activity or whatever. Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Okay, we all understand how I love me some paranormal stuff. I love it.
But the thing is, I love it too until I don't.
We were watching this one. This show hasn't been on in a minute. I got another episode, and it was just, the way Paranormal Caught on Camera works. It's 5 stories per episode, and they vary between ghosts and
they
UFOs,
do so many replays. So many replays.
They were talking about this one store in Mexico that sold piñatas, and it was like a street store. Like literally, like they rolled up a gate and it was just a room and it was just full of pinatas. And this guy, a pinata kept falling. No matter where he put it, it kept falling off of the shelf or falling from the hook. Like this pinata was possessed. So he sets up cameras and to catch the pinata crap on film, and then it shows where they shut off all the lights, and of course it goes to night vision, and there's this giant pile of things in the middle of the floor, like stuffed animals and whatnot. And this thing, it sent chills up my spine. It just slowly raises its head out from the middle of the pile, and it's got glowy eyes and it's staring directly at the camera, and I start to laugh because it looks so fake to me, but she is watching it as well, and she starts getting creeped out, and they show it over and over and over.
Let me be clear, it actually looked like something from a video game, but when I'm not fully conscious and I'm currently sick, I immediately start looking down the hallway going, oh my god, am I gonna see this thing in my nightmares? Like,
why do they keep showing that? Because they show it 7 times, honey, guaranteed.
I just started noping. Yeah, because they were because it's like they act like, oh yes, we have real evidence. Look at this thing that we found, and it's poking its head up, and let's all comment on it and sound really intelligent talking about bullshit, and let's do replays because clearly you didn't get it the first 6 times. I just can't, and so I nope every time because it doesn't stop being creepy, and then it just gets annoying, and I can't look away because it still gets me. So yeah.
I love that show. Anywho,
I think you just love my reactions.
I do.
To that
your
show.
Reactions to that show makes it that much better. So that's why, I've started over because I don't have any new episodes. We're just going to go from the beginning and skip to the really scary ones.
But
it is spooky season, so
it is. And I did. Actually, I was visiting my sister recently, and we started rewatching Hill House. So that was really fun because I was actually showing her some Easter eggs in it, and she was like, oh my god, she's like, how many times have you watched this? And I was like, that's irrelevant, look at this screen.
That's irrelevant.
Like, look at this thing in the background, did you catch that reference? What about this? And she was like, oh my god. But it was really fun because my sister and I both love spooky season. We both love Halloween. She has like permanent Halloween stuff up in her apartment, and it makes me very, very excited. And we get to bond over the macabre because that's something that I don't actually share my interest in very often. In fact, Evan and I actually talked about that recently because I have intentionally over the years toned that part of myself down. But once I'm around my sister, it's just so much fun because I let it all out, and we have a great time. But that's pretty much everything that I've been watching.
We watched a couple of episodes of the Creep Show.
Oh yeah,
which
I was trying to think of stuff I watched on my own, but that was about it, I think.
Yeah. I think. I mean, according to the Plex, that's pretty much all that you've watched. I mean, the things that we've watched together. We were trying to catch up on Creep Show.
Mm-hmm. Creep Show's fun.
Yeah, they're lighter horror based shows.
So poorly acted.
So poorly acted, and the special effect. Like it's like Creep Show, like the old movie television show kind of thing.
And it's like I sometimes wonder if like they're intentionally doing bad acting just to add to it, and it makes it more fun and cheesy, and it's just so campy. It's great.
It's very, very campy. Campy is the perfect word for it.
Yeah.
What else? Evil. Caught up on a couple episodes of Evil.
Yeah, that show sticks with you, man. That show gets inside your brain.
Liking that show quite a bit. What else? Is there anything else that we've watched together? Because I know the week before I was sick, and I started to do a watch of Titans, the DC show.
Oh man, every time I start watching that show, I just make fun of it and ask Kevin questions, and I'm like, why are you doing this again? Okay.
Well,
cool. That was the like fuck Batman show or something, right?
Right. It's the fuck Batman Titans.
It's literally like I swear to God, Frank Miller wrote it because fuck is literally every other word.
I had to look to see what channel it was on because of the amount of fucks that are said in this show.
Listen, fuck you, you fucking fuck.
DC Direct, and then now it's on HBO Max. But it's Nightwing. Well, it was Robin.
It's fucking Nightwing. It's fucking Robin.
Beast Boy. And what, and
Fucking Beast Boy.
Okay, got it, hon. I'm
laughing, Angie.
It seems that the show gets dramatically better when Raven and Beast Boy are not acting on screen. Like when they're not on the screen, the show is okay. As soon as they show up, everything gets so teen melodramy. It's ridiculous. But it's an interesting take on Titans. I mean, they totally redid all of the backstories. None of it is canon from the comics. It's interesting to see how they're trying to tie in the comic book universe to this universe, because I can see where they're trying to pull stories from, but it's different. I sat down and I watched 2 seasons of it, not knowing why. I just did. And like,
are you having regrets?
I don't want to say regrets because now I know, but I'm probably going to watch the rest of it. Like it's in the 3rd season, so I'm going to end up continuing to watch it to be caught up on it. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've watched. I watched a shit ton of Mythbusters because that show is amazing.
That's been really fun because I've never seen Mythbusters. I think maybe when I was younger, I got to catch like 1 episode at a friend's house, and that was pretty much my entire experience of Mythbusters. And man, that show, I just love how over the top they go. I didn't realize they do that. I thought it was just like, here's a myth. Did we bust it? Well, let's like really, really show you if we could bust this myth.
So for those that have never seen Mythbusters, they get a myth. They do an experiment in the same vein as the myth. They say X, Y, and Z. Now, if that works, they have proved the myth. If that doesn't work, they have busted the myth.
Yeah, like here are the circumstances that are claimed to have happened.
If they bust it, then they take it a step further and try to make that thing happen. So usually it's like, hey, if they shoot this car a bunch of times with this type of gun, will it explode like it does in TV? The answer to that question is no. It takes a lot to make a car explode. How much does it take to make a car explode? We'll find out by the end of this episode. So that's that. Like, and it's myths, Hollywood things, which was really neat. Like, I love it when they start taking like the things that we've taken for granted in movies to be like real. Like, what is really bulletproof? Oh yes, the guy was saved by the Bible he had in his pocket. Well, that's not really true. Like, a .22 bullet can go through a Bible quite easily. So it's a lot of fun, and the guys, watching from the first season where it was just the 2 of them, and then the rest of the crew starts going in, and all of the like, it was at the very beginning just 2 guys, then it is now 3 guys and 3 girls, and like the lead welder is this badass chick who fixes all of their cars. Like, it's such a great show to show how things are, like the nuts and bolts of everything. So
I do love the fact that they take that girl and they're like, yeah, she does this better than us.
Yeah,
like a lot better than us.
She's an amazing welder and mechanic, so they give her all those jobs. And I really fixer-upper. It's pretty much it. Getting caught up on Joanna and Chip Gaines because they're fun. I end up laughing at that show. But I think that's about it, hon, right? Anything else? So,
no, I mean, other than television, we've been watching movies more than anything else, which is not something we've done for a while, so it's been nice.
Yeah, doing a slow rewatch of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get through that, so... Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, we watched 2 Marvel movies today, and I was telling Evan, I was like, thank goodness we're doing it this way, because I can actually understand the relevance of some of the characters or like plot points and why they matter, because they
watching them in order is definitely
that's helping.
Well worth it. Like, there are certain things that I'd missed because I hadn't watched them in order. So
we watched Scott Pilgrim too. I know that's another movie, but that was great. I haven't seen that in years.
I hadn't seen that in years, and It's such a fun movie, too.
Yeah.
So,
That's everything.
all right. Unless you guys got anything else, I think it's time we take a break because it has been nearly an hour, I guess. Yeah.
We missed each other. We had a lot to say.
It's been a while. We haven't really spoken, so you guys ready to take our break?
Yes, indeedy.
All right.
Chris is still alive.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about some news. Stay tuned.
And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, Biff. The man, the myth, the legend, is a character of exquisite taste. So when he chills, he does so with only the grandest of Arianas. I see what you did there. So yes, as you may have guessed, the Biff we're speaking of is indeed chilling with Ariana Grande. But in less exciting news, Ryan's got a bunch of new Switch games, and really, who doesn't? The Switch has games after all. Nintendo said so themselves. But what you really need to know about is, how can a domino stunt turn into an intervention, and what is said intervention for? If you would like to know what any and all of this inane babble means, please give a listen to Weekend Rental episode 106, The Gamers Knock 'em Down.
I really wanted to be about Biff from Back to the Future.
I did too. I was really confused and I didn't understand why it wasn't, and why were we talking about Ariana Grande, and who the fuck is Biff?
I mean, I haven't listened to the episode. I can't say for sure that Biff from Back to the Future isn't hanging with Ariana Grande.
Very true.
He did have like a hold of the time machine at one point, didn't he? Or
Yeah.
was it just the sports book
Was it
that
the
he had?
Sports Almanac? Who knows?
Anyway.
I'll tell you what I know is that up next, do you like gaming chairs? Of course you do. That's why you probably also love people who make ads for gaming chairs, especially if they're wearing a vest when they do it. Our dear friend and lover, Dean, has a Twitch channel, and if you want to watch him flail wildly at some video game goodness, it's my personal belief that you should tune into his channel from time to time. He's been attacking Demon Souls or something lately. I don't know. I don't actually watch him stream, but you totally should. So do us a solid and head on over to twitch.tv/vest_lord for plenty of vesty goodness. And when he dies, he'll be vestfully dead. In Demon Souls. That was a Mystery Science Theater joke.
Jokes are funnier when you explain them.
Except it wasn't Vest, it was they just did Zestfully, right? Yeah, that was in Pod People. She's zestfully dead. Good times.
Karen, hurry up.
It was a
He's
shower
spiraling,
kill, right?
Karen.
She was in the
He's
shower and the
spiraling.
monster snuck in the shower and killed her. It's a good time.
I really want you to watch the Killer Sofa movie.
Oh, I watched the Mystery Science Theater too last. Like I couldn't sleep. I woke up at like 4 in the morning or something. So I just went downstairs and I threw on a was it a Gamera episode? That was great.
You know who is sleeping right now?
Me?
This dog who is also like
Oh yeah, that's Sleepy Pooch.
sleepwoofing.
Yeah.
Sleepwolfing? Tell
She's
me
not
more.
making any sounds, but her lip is twitching and her
Oh, we got a big leg twitch there.
her paws. It's very cute, but you can't see it, so you know it's very useful to all our listeners. All right,
So
let me do
precious.
this. Finally, Stone Age Gamer is known for a lot of things. Selling high-quality flashcards, a beautiful, streamlined website, having the burliest podcasters this side of the Atlantic.
Damn straight.
But did you know
Questionable.
they also carry a wide array of novelty items?
What?
That's right! A constantly rotating supply of stupid stuff that's guaranteed to bring a smile to your face exists right there at StoneAgeGamer.com. And Chris made a video about it! So if you want to get a closer look at some of the silly novelty items they carry, like the tiny arcade machines, a little RC Mario Kart car, or a completely ridiculous gigantic Mario pen, head on over to the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel and have a look at their Novelties Overview.
I picture Chris with this like 7-foot long pen. I want to see that. For all this great content and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on Geekade.com. Okay, and we're back. Thank you so much for checking out the commercials. Let's dive into some news. First up, we got a couple of articles here from Variety.com, both of which revolving around Mike Richards. I'm going to air quote this. Was to be the host of Jeopardy, but he's now out. And apparently it was because of some sexist remarks from his past. Karen, you want to shed any...
It just is so stupid because, like, if they had vetted the guy at all, they would have found this and they would have saved themselves the embarrassment. But
Well,
no,
the guy who's doing the vetting got the job.
Right. Exactly, but, like, there was no one else in charge that had to be run past. I mean, there had to be somebody.
Yeah. We all knew it stank. We all knew something was fishy as soon as it was announced, so...
And now there's not a person in place right now, right?
I haven't. It was supposed to go to Yalik.
Ryan Bialik?
Well, I thought she was doing some, like, guest hosting.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought she was like a sometimes host.
Right, and that was the only other hosting news that I had heard.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. We all knew it was fishy as soon as...
As far as I'm concerned, Jeopardy died with Alex Trebek, so...
Fair.
That's fair. Very, very fair. So, all right. Let's...
Yeah, I
Move
feel like
on,
we're all
'cause-
just like over it. Like,
Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, we have been dealing with this Jeopardy story for quite a while because we had talked about, Alex going through his cancer and, leading up to all of that. And then, hey, all of these people are trying out. And, like, then we were all shocked when, like, really? This guy? Why? Oh, he's in charge. That's why. Because he chose himself. Like, this is the next logical step that this guy is a creep and, he did creepy things. So
Yeah.
now he's out. So... Next up, I posted in the feed for something that I wanted to watch because, it was in travels, and I posted up, it's a trailer for a Moon Knight trailer. And I got so excited, and then Chris quickly told me, no, that was a fan-made. I'm like, son of a bitch! Damn it. Still no real trailer yet for that show. We have seen a couple of, like, stills from... the shooting, and I don't even know where they are. I want to say it was like Baghdad or someplace far, far, far away.
how do we know that it's fan made though? Like,
Because it's apparently from other movies.
Really? It's all other stuff he's done? Okay. Man,
Yeah.
I don't watch much Oscar Isaac anything, I guess.
I couldn't pick out any of it, but
Yeah.
Chris said he had recognized some. So
Well, boo.
yeah.
Well, I mean, this is if you just go to the video, the description, the first line in the description, this is a fan-made trailer, no copyright infringement intended. Like, it's the first thing on there.
Oh, I didn't even scroll that far
this
down.
was definitely clickbait. Like, the way it came up onto my feed was, because who I am. And then, like, I only see the first line says Marvel's Moon Knight trailer, and then as soon as it says first look concept, that means it's fake. So, okay.
Yeah, I think
You got me.
that's this dude's thing. Like, his channel is just like mock-ups of what trailers could be.
We just want this show so badly that we're like clicking on everything and pretending it's real.
Well, yeah. My favorite is when they say, "Hey, what so and so would look like in their costume," and it's someone doing a digital painting. Like, it's not a photo; it's just some artist representation. Stop doing clickbait to people; it's unnecessary.
Get some of the clicks. That's what's important.
Comicbook.com, Cowboy Bebop, first look, some images from the live action.
I think it looks good.
I think they look great.
Sure looks the part. I'm into it. I'm 100%
For as much as
into
I
it.
know.
Holy crap, did the internet get on top of Faye, though? And, like, she fired back in such a delightful way. Like,
Now, I saw
'Cause-
some of that. I didn't see it in detail. Tell me. Explain.
well, obviously Faye Valentine's wearing clothes in this. And in the anime, she's, like, wearing a series of strings and stuff. Like, she's got gigantic boobs, and she's, like, a completely unreasonably designed character. Even though she's a great character, like, just her physical appearance is incredibly anime and just doesn't translate to reality in any meaningful way. So naturally there was a lot of anime fan backlash of like, she doesn't look anything like Faye in the cartoon, like, you know, forgetting the fact that her face and hair and
she has the yellow vesty thing. Like, that top is perfect.
Except that top's supposed to be like half the size and held together with like suspenders that are attached to short shorts that are up her ass the entire time. And like,
okay,
that works in anime more or less, but that is so totally impractical for real. You're doing this in live action. Like,
this is like the wardrobe version of chicks, like superhero chicks always have to have long hair and they never tie it back.
Yeah, this is an excellent adaptation. It's got the colors right. It's basically taking the, you know, series of patches that she's wearing in the anime and turning it into clothing. I think she looks fantastic.
Series of patches.
I mean, I have a slight weird thing about the suit that Spike's wearing being kind of shiny, but I mean, it's still. So I got to see the whole thing in motion.
The material is off for you?
What's that?
You're saying the material is off?
Yeah, I feel like just the way that the suit's drawn in the show always seemed a lot less nice.
Okay, I got you.
And because like I'm looking at this shot of him, like he's beat the crap, like just as he should be. He's all bloodied up and stuff, but the outfit's still got a bit of a sheen to it. It's a little bit tougher of a material. And
it's space material.
Yeah,
honey.
it's fine. It's not an actual complaint.
Suit.
It's just something that struck me as a little weird. That's all. But I mean, this show still makes me super duper nervous. But at the same time, I'm very interested in seeing it. I'm interested to see what they change, or if they're just going to do a 1-to-1 reshoot of the cartoon. I don't know. I mean, the show's got to justify its existence in some way, shape, or form. But I do think it being in live action gets this universe into more people's eyeballs. So
very true. Like that's
how
something
far is it going to go? Are they going to get to Ed, or are they going to save Ed for season 2? Because Ed's the only character we haven't seen yet.
That's what I was going to say. We have yet to hear any word on Ed, and all of these shots, none of them include the corgi. But we did see that cast.
Yeah, I mean we've seen Ein, but yeah, we haven't seen Ein in action per se, like in full costume,
all floofy. So, but it looks great. The set shots that we are seeing so far look true to the show. So
it definitely looks the part. I think Jet looks great. I really didn't know how Jet's look was going to translate. Like, it's a jumpsuit with the arms ripped off and like a pink shirt underneath. It just like Jet was one of those characters that I never really thought about until like after I'd seen the show a bunch of times. I really started to think about the logistics of Jet's whole thing and be like, this is a weird character design. Like everything's just kind of in the background. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then you think about like he's got some weird ass facial hair. Like his beard on his cheeks kind of comes out to weird points and stuff. Like, and then I started thinking about like, all right, how are they really gonna address this in live action? I think they pulled it off great.
Just like that. It looks great. And I'm pointing at
Yeah.
the picture, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. That's good. Now, I guess the next question is, will they be wearing the same clothes in every episode? Because they do in the cartoon, because that's how cartoons work typically. Like, that's their outfit. But, in live action, they tend to, people tend to get dressed differently. But then again, they're out in space and maybe they don't have other clothes. So who knows?
Oh, the questions to be answered.
These are very important questions.
True. We need to know. All right. Let's move on to a sad story from superherohype.com. Veteran actor Ed Asner has passed away at the age of 91.
That's a good ripe old age, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say 91 ain't bad.
That's a long life lived.
And dude was acting up till like the last minute,
Yeah, I saw he guest starred in one of those Grace and Frankie season 7 episodes, and he looked like hell.
91. So
he was really only up for roles of people who were about to die.
Yeah. Yeah, that was his bread and butter right there. So,
but it's a damn shame. I remember watching Mary Tyler Moore show reruns when I was a kid, and I loved Lou Grant. So I've been a fan of his for a long, long time.
I loved him as Hudson.
I was just gonna say that's probably the earliest thing I can think of really knowing him from personally was Hudson. Man, that show's cool. I'd like to show that to the kids at some point.
That show's so dark, though.
Yeah, but it's like it's Disney dark, and it references like all this like Shakespeare stuff and all kinds of mythology. Like it was such a good kids show. Like it's great. And of course it was what Jameson on that Spider-Man cartoon that was around the same time. Dude did a lot of voice work around that time.
Yeah. Yeah, he showed up he was everywhere. He was Santa Claus and Elf. Like, come on now. The old man and
the
Elf.
real Ray's Pizza.
Yeah. I'm trying to look see how he. My goodness. 2021, Grace and Frankie. 2021, Scarlet TV. So I'm just looking. So.
And he was on what's the one with Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini?
Ooh.
Oh,
Deadlight? No. No.
Something.
Dead to Me?
Dead
to
to
Me.
Me?
Dead
Okay.
to Me. Yeah, he was
He
was
had
one of the residents in the home where she worked.
he was Johnny's dad in Cobra Kai.
That's his most important role.
1957. Juror on Studio One. Third actor. 1957. Holy shit. Big bucket of win. Very, very sad to see him go. His voice and likeness is all over the place. So you know
cool.
who we're talking about.
Yeah, it's cool to know that like someone with a life that long and a career that long, the ways that they are in, I guess, almost like in the background of the pop culture. You know, there's so many things where you can be like, oh, he was in that. Oh, he did that. Oh, like whether you actively knew it or didn't. Because I was never like, an outward fan of him. Like, oh, yay, but when I saw this article and I was looking up some of the things he'd done, I was like, wow, he was in a lot of roles that I know, that I'm familiar with, and that's kind of cool to see all the different things he did.
Yeah. Sad to see him go. All right, next up, digitalspy.com. Doctor Who's Matt Smith tips Harry Potter star to replace Jodie Whittaker.
Okay, so this was more of just a tease for Karen than anything else.
Is that it?
This is not real news. This is just Matt Smith kind of throwing his vote in for the next Doctor.
Matt Smith's opinion.
Yeah, so
and
sorry, guys.
That's fine.
I don't agree.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I'm 100% on the Richard Ayoade bandwagon and will always be.
Who did he suggest? I didn't read the article.
Rhys Ifans, who is he was
Luna's
dad in the Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1.
And it's
Wow.
funny.
I
him
know
from
that
Notting
name,
Hill.
but not for Harry Potter. They're really gonna like
That's what they're
what that's what you're gonna
He
call
is
a
best.
Harry Potter actor.
Exactly. He
Or
is
the
best known
lizard.
to Harry Potter fans, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
While Marvel fans will know him as Dr. Connors, a.k.a. the Lizard in The Amazing
Ooh,
Spider-Man, and I don't
true.
know which friggin' Spider-Man that one is.
That was the Amazing Spider-Man, the first Andrew Garfield one.
Okay, the Andrew Garfield one. I don't think I even saw that one.
Why
So-
do I know
I knew
this
him
guy?
as
I know I've
the
seen him in a
roommate in
bunch of
Notting
stuff.
Hill.
He is in
that show, that movie.
I still have to
The
see the rest of that.
Kingsman. Oh,
Yeah.
no, he's going to be in the upcoming new one.
Yeah, the King's Man.
Oh, it was Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. No.
He was Little Nicky. He was Little Nicky's brother in Little Nicky movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's all over the place. This guy. He should be a doctor. No.
No, I'm good.
I
He
mean,
doesn't-
I'm behind what Matt Smith says about how they've never had a Welshman. I do love a Welsh actor. I love the accent. I'll listen to it all day long. But no. Richard
Karen
Iowati,
remains
please do not
firm.
cast
No.
another white man as the Doctor.
All right. Let's see. What do
I
we
think
got
they
next?
need to cast 2 white men as the Doctor. Just
Yeah.
make 2 of them.
Think they should cast conjoined twins as the Doctor?
No, just like have it be 2
I want
dudes.
a cat. I want a
It'd be
cat
really
doctor.
confusing the
That's
whole
what I
time.
want.
Ugh, that would be good too.
Listen, if I can get an alligator Loki, I can get a cat Doctor Who.
Oh man, we get the cat doctor, and then like the master could be a dog.
I want to know what the hell happened to Joe Martin. Like, there was that whole plot line with that black lady doctor, and then like we don't know when that doctor is the Doctor, but like it could
Didn't
be
they
her.
hammer out that was before the first Doctor?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, that whole thing was all pretty confusing and ill-conceived.
Sounds a little
yeah, I know the
wibbly
Doctor had
wobbly,
like a bunch of
timey-wimey.
incarnations before the Doctor. Sure,
Wait, what?
let's go with it.
Wait, what? Huh?
It was extremely convoluted. Don't
Yeah,
worry about
was,
it.
It was. I honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think the answer to your question is they didn't think it through.
That sounds like, yes, that sounds like correct. Yes. Not thought out properly. Oh, all right. Theatermania.com. There's always extraordinary playlist Christmas movie to air later this year.
Yay! Everybody be happy and rejoice. We get more Zoe.
Give it to me now. I'm actually kind of worried about this, but I'm also excited.
Why?
Because it says that they're trying to wrap up all the loose ends, and I just don't want it to feel like they're going to force all of the closure. Like, I
Oh,
just
what they don't
want
say,
to...
it's a 14-hour long movie.
Listen, I would take it. I would watch it. I would sit it. I would do the whole thing in one sitting, and I would enjoy it, okay?
And I
wouldn't
would
even...
fly down there and do it with you.
Right? I wouldn't even take bathroom breaks. I'd just pee in a bucket. Like, let's go. This is for Zoe.
TV's up all over the place. so we
Gives
don't
new
have to-
meaning to the phrase 2 girls, 1 cup.
Ew. Guys are
I had to
gross.
say it.
Ew.
I love
Anyway.
you so much, Karen. You just turned into my favorite unicorn. Oh my
Anywho.
god. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
pretty excited about
More
this.
Zoe. Very excited. A Christmas movie, like that's gonna be fun. And I hear your fear about it being like too rushed, but I feel like they did enough closure wrapping up the season 2 that they're not gonna have too much to cram into it.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, I hope we can just have... Like, I just kind of want it to be like a celebration of what that show was. Honestly, I don't care. Anything they give me, I'm going to like it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to sing
As
to
long
it. I'm
as
going to
Skylar
cry.
Aston is in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
They only really they closed a lot of the doors. You know, they wrapped up a lot of the stories except for that last door that they opened at the very end, hoping to get a season 3. And if they progress with that, and that's a
That'll be
great
fun.
story. That'll be fun. So
Yeah.
And there'll be lots of Christmas songs in it, obviously.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yay.
All right, moving on. YouTube.com. We're getting this is probably the best place to get it. Marvel Studios Hawkeye, the official trailer from Disney Plus.
So excited.
Yes, that's it. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
looks fantastic.
Yes.
Rogers the musical.
yes.
That's my favorite thing.
I'm gonna
And
tack on
like
another.
honestly, when this first came into my feed, I was busy that day, and I was like, I'm not even gonna look at this because I saw somebody like say that it was leaked, and I was like, all right, well then it's probably not real, and I'll just check it out later. And then like an hour later, Chris threw it in the feed, and he was like, did you see this? I'm like, shit, it was real. No, I didn't watch it.
Son of a.
I said there's
So-
a specific part of it that's going to make you very happy. And then she started it up and she saw the sign for Rogers the Musical. I said, was that it? I said, no, just keep watching. And it was this shot where you actually get to see a piece of Rogers the Musical.
Yeah.
Because like that was my whole experience watching it. I was like, Rogers the Musical. I want to see that. And then I'm watching the rest of the trailer like, oh, this is pretty great. And then there was that one shot. I was like, we get to see some of the musical. Yes.
They were not throwing away their shot, Chris.
No, they were not.
So attached to that, I had thrown an article, or just a cute little thing later on that Lin-Manuel tweeted in reference to that part of the trailer, a meme of Steve Rogers saying, "Hey, I get that reference.
I understood that reference."
It's fantastic. I think that's adorable. I love the fact that everybody's playing along with it. I had only one request for this show, seeing as where the source material is from, and it looks like I am getting at least one episode about, or at least part of an episode about the quiver of arrows. It looks like the books, like it's looks like they're doing the source material right, which is great. Like I said, we are in the process of doing a Marvel rewatch, and I don't know we're at Ultron.
Mm-hmm. We just finished
right
Ultron.
Now, and that Hawkeye that's in there, like the soul of the team, is like the best part of that character, and it looks like they're going to do right by it. So this looks great. A lot of
I'm
fun.
just really excited for Haley Steinfeld because I fell in love with her from Dickinson, and that show is just like, it's not on enough. Like, and this it not that it's a similar character, but I feel like her energy is just very likable, and so like very excited to see more of her on my screen.
Yes, indeedy.
I'm trying to remember what I know her from. Hold on.
She was in that the girls sing
Pitch Perfect. She was in
3, like
two.
Yeah,
three.
that's why.
2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I like her. I think she's great, and I think she's the right pick for this character too. So,
Cool. I'm good.
all right, moving on. CBR.com. Netflix's Tomb Raider anime taps Captain Carter's Haley Atwell as Lara Croft.
So much yes in my pants.
Yeah, I had a little yes in my pants too, and then I saw the article and I was like, oh, it's an anime and she's doing the voice. That's still cool, but like it would be so much fucking cooler if it was live action, man.
I know. Well, I mean, look at the image at the top of the article. She is Lara Croft. There is like no one better alive. Like, she could outshine Angelina Jolie. I will fight you on it. Like,
Oh, I never
You're
thought
not gonna
Angelina
fight
Jolie
me.
was a good pick for that character. She was gangly throughout the entirety of that movie. Those movies.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable.
yeah.
But
Haley
yeah.
Atwell, perfect woman. Oh,
Apparently, Netflix is doing
In
an
so many
anime
ways.
on the Tomb Raider series, and they picked the right person to do the voice. You'll get no complaints here.
yeah. Like, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, this is a bucket list thing. If there's ever a cosplay of Haley Atwell as Lara Croft, my life will be complete. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
You'd have to combine the two. I guess it would be in the hair area and the Tomb Raider outfit.
Because she could do like the newer version, and it would be amazing. It doesn't have to be like classic Tomb Raider. Like, she could do anything. I don't even care.
So I didn't know. I didn't see any. There's no information about releasing. So this
No.
is just.
It's just been announced, and it picks up where the games left off, which means, honey, I gotta get those games.
I
gotta
thought we
play
had
it
a
now.
bunch of them, but apparently I was incorrect.
We had the first one in the relaunch, and you beat it. We've both beaten that game, and we
I
haven't gotten further.
100%ed that game.
You did. I was
I'm
very
proud
proud
of
of you. I didn't
myself.
even get to do that.
Like, I got all of the stuff.
All
I
the
never
stuff
do that.
and the things.
Yes, stuff and things. So yeah, we'll go through that because those are great games.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another sad one. This kind of surprised me that all right, so Deadline.com, Norm Macdonald has died. Influential comedian and former SNL Weekend Update anchor has passed away at 61. I didn't realize how long it's been since I've thought about Norm Macdonald. He's been out of the limelight for quite a while, and he's been privately dealing with cancer for 9 years, it seems. So, unfortunate. He was hysterically funny. Like the cadence, the way he, like you could hear his voice in certain aspects of SNL. Like his thumbprint is on a lot of that show. So sad to see him go.
Like his era of SNL is really where I remember like the cross section between like me being old enough to watch SNL with my parents.
Yep.
And like my dad thought Norm Macdonald was fucking hysterical.
Yeah. He was part of the cast from 93 to 98. He did the Man Show. I remember that for quite a while. So he had touched a lot of comedy. So sad to see him go, and it's a shame that he chose to do that in private. He didn't want that his illness to take away the joy that he had given for so many years. So he will be missed. Karen, you posted this one, which made me happy as well. TVLine.com, Lock and Key Season 2 gets Netflix premiere date, and we got a teaser trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Arachnophobes, beware of this trailer.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was huge.
It was
Season
not
2.
ready, and it was not okay.
Friday, October 22nd, 2020.
It's my birthday.
Yes, it is. Now I know.
Happy birthday to me. I
Happy
mean, it wasn't
birthday to
exactly
you.
what I wanted, but I'll take it.
Wow.
Note to self. Spiders for Karen's birthday. Got it.
No, thank you. I went out, like, completely unrelated to anything. I went out with some girls the other night, and one of them was talking about this spider that was living in her yard, and then I turn around and she has a giant picture of it on her screen, and I just screamed. And then everyone laughed like it was hysterical that I was afraid of a picture of a spider. It was a big fucking spider, man. I don't care that it was just a picture. I'm still scared of spiders.
It is real somewhere. Not necessarily right there, but it is real somewhere.
So you want to hear a fun story? You ready for this
I don't
one?
know. Does it have to do with a spider? Because I don't.
No, it might be worse.
Oh, don't. No, honey, don't do.
Yep, here we go. All right, so last night, stuff of nightmares, okay? Did not scream.
Oh.
Did not scream.
She was on
But
the phone
I'm already
with her
shivering.
grandmother.
I was talking to my grandmother, and here's a wonderful thing about the South, right? Is that sometimes bugs just come in from outside, no matter how many precautions you take, and sometimes those bugs are very large cockroaches that,
Ew.
if you're lying on the floor while talking on the phone and not paying attention, will crawl up your pant leg.
Oh!
Yeah.
So
I
down
hope
where
you're
we
happy.
live, there are two types of cockroaches: the indoor and the outdoor cockroach. Indoor cockroaches are known to be very
like-
small.
yeah.
Like what up north I think would be like the size of maybe like
A dime.
potato bug, tiny little guys. Then there are the outdoor ones that are the size of like I don't know,
Godzilla.
a small Buick.
That too.
Oh my god, like
It was so bad. It was so bad. I crushed it with my hand in my pocket. That's how far up my leg it made it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was like, Grandma,
How are you
hold
alive?
on 1 second. And then I was like, wait, I feel like,
So my
is there
favorite-
something?
I'm
No. And I
sorry.
stand up. Oh, I'm getting
So
chills right now. I gotta
wasn't
look at my
in the room
legs.
at the time, and I walked down the hallway, and I see her grabbing at her pants, and she's pulling, and
The pants are like halfway down my legs.
and she's like, "No, I think it's okay. Everything is fine. I think it was just me." And then all of a sudden, it fell out of her pant leg. And the sheer terror that came over her face, but did not scream, did not react, kept everything so calm for the phone call which he was on. It was just like, okay, I have to go now.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry, Grandma. I have to go light myself on fire. Excuse me while I burn everything I've ever worn.
So, I've realized that we have to watch Lock and Key again because I don't remember any of it.
It's fine. It's
Yes.
yeah,
It's not
you
a
know
long
what?
series, but yes, that's going to be my experience as well.
And I will pretend I've never read it before.
That's the one that you didn't like because it was different from the book. That's right.
Because it was so different from the book. It's fine.
So,
It's fine.
like I said, season 2, October 22nd. So keep an eye out for that. The trailer looks good, except for apparently the spiders.
I mean, it actually does look good. Like, the stuff, I recognize some of the plot points that they were covering in the trailer, so I'm pretty excited about that. It does look at, like, based on what I saw in the trailer, and Chris, you may or may not remember, they, if you're still there.
Chris, you may or not be awake still.
Chris, you may or may not be conscious, but bugs. No, it looks like they might actually be able to wrap up the whole story in the second season. Like, I can't see, unless they're doing something that takes completely outside the realm of the book, or books, I should say. It looks like this will be the second half of the whole series.
Interesting. I just saw him wearing the crown in the picture. I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Okay.
I was like, all right. I mean, I'll watch it, but I didn't have a chance to before we actually got on the show.
Gotcha.
But I'm interested. But isn't there like some new Lock and Key spin-off comic that came out recently?
Yeah, I have a couple issues of it. I haven't gotten very far. I bought the issues just to support.
Tie in stuff like that to keep the show going. If it even does keep going, right? I mean, who the hell knows? But
It has been a while. It's been like a year and a half, right?
yeah, well,
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Time stopped for a little while there because there was a global pandemic.
Was a global?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, it's still all right. I mean, it happened and is continuing to happen.
Yeah.
There was a global.
Please don't be
pandemic.
grammar
Now there's
cops
just a
on
big
me
old-
at 10 o'clock at night.
there's
No,
just a
it's
big
not the
old
fact
bag
that
of
it's
fucking
grammar.
stupid out there.
It's the fact that, like, it's just not ending, and we wish it would.
For the love of Christ, please just let it stop.
All right, let's do this. We can
Moving
power
on.
through
All right,
this.
so I put up the next one from ScreenRant.com. Only Murders in the Building has been renewed for season 2 by Hulu. Now, I had watched the first episode of this show. I really enjoyed it. I stopped watching it so that Angela and I could watch it together. I think the cast plays
we need to
really
make
well
a list.
together. It is, okay, it's about 3 people who live in the same building that all enjoy the same murder mystery podcast, and then a murder happens. Like, they're like real fans of it, and it turns out they don't really know each other in real life, and they bond over this, and then a murder happens in their building, and they start investigating it. And there were certain aspects about, like, the real cops going, God, these fucking people, and they're, real crime drama podcast thinking they know everything. And it was really well done. What I liked about this show the most was each one of the 3 main characters not only has their on the surface story, but they give the characters real depth, and we are introduced to that depth quickly in the first episode. So we start seeing that there's more than what's just on the surface, and I was hoping that would be a thing, because Steve Martin and I'm blanking, and Martin Short played so well together. So I knew that their chemistry was going to be great, and I was right. They're good.
And apparently
Chris
they're
and I-
only like halfway through that first season, so there's there's still time before this goes anywhere.
It was
even
Hulu saying like it was with the highest watched show on their channel kind of thing. So it's great. I'm enjoying it. From what I've seen so far, I'm liking it, and I feel like you'll enjoy it as well, hun. So
yay!
We plan to check it out too.
We for real need a list, though.
That's what we got the Plex for, honey. All right. Next up, I didn't realize that this was coming so quickly, but Deadline.com Brooklyn Nine-Nine series finale cast to say goodbye on Late Night with Seth Meyers. After their hour-long season finale, some of the cast members will be going on to Late Night with Seth Meyers to just sort of say a goodbye.
I intentionally did not read too much of this article because I was worried about spoilers.
It really doesn't. I think we got more spoilers from Karen.
Okay.
Okay, so and Karen didn't say really any
God,
spoilers.
Karen.
I didn't realize it was coming to an end. Just kind of surprised me. But I think it's a great idea for them to head over and do it like an after show. So, the last episode airs at 8 p.m. Thursday night. And then technically Friday morning or later on that evening at 12:35 a.m. some of the cast members will be appearing on Late Night with Seth Meyers. So I think that's a cute way to send off the show. There's one more. So let's see what this says. I have not checked out this article. Superherohype.com. Netflix will adapt Matt Wagner's Grendel as a live-action series. Interesting. Chris, did you actually read this, or did you just see it and post it?
No, it was while we were on the podcast, actually. It was just scrolled past my screen. I was like, huh. Okay. I don't know anything about this other than, when I worked in the comic book store, there was a handful of folks who really liked it. And it's like, oh, those guys all look like Venom.
He was a sword fighter. I'm trying to remember, this is really digging way back into my memory. It had one of those followings that I could, if they don't do well by this, there's gonna be a lot of that internet complaininess.
This seems like the kind of thing that's got a very dedicated, if not gigantic, fan base that will very much let them have it if it doesn't go well.
Identity of the character. However, the new series will focus on Hunter, a gifted fencer, writer, and assassin, seeking to avenge the death of a lost love. Interesting. I'll watch anything that's comic book related. I did watch.
You said fencer. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have no basis. I read this so long ago, or I may not even finished it. I checked out a couple of them, so I can't be horribly disappointed unless they just do a bad show. I'm not comparing it to anything other than what they show me on screen. So
yeah, I've never even heard of it. So bring it on, nerd stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So that seems to be it. I did post an image in the feed of the scary monster from the Pinata store. I was kind of hoping you were looking at the news feed.
Nope, I refuse, and now I'm never opening it again. Thanks, babe.
You're welcome, honey.
Sorry, guys, I can no longer do news.
All right. Hey, Chris. Hey. You still with us?
Not really.
All right, cool.
But for those of us who are, this week's episode isn't filmed before a live studio audience, but it is fueled by feedback from listeners like you. You can get in touch with us in a multitude of ways. We have an official Geekade Discord where there's an entire This Week's Episode channel dedicated to all things TV talk. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram through the official Geekade channels or the more specific Twepcast accounts, and of course, the four of us can be found in various ways. I'm available on Twitter at Geekade Chris. That's Geekade KRIS, and you can read my work at StoneAgeGamer.com and in the pages of Nintendo Force magazine. Karen, where can people find you?
People can find me at STM Stitches on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Etsy, and TikTok.
And what about you, Angie?
You can find me at AngelaFernot.com.
You can find me on this couch. And Evan, where can people find you?
Geekade_Evan.
If you need more information about any of the shows we discussed tonight or what we'll be watching in the future, have a look at our show notes. And if you have any other questions at all, we can always be reached at mail@geekade.com. Just include the words "this week's episode" in the subject line so we know who you're trying to reach. This show is available anywhere fine podcasts are sold, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. And wherever you decide to listen, please like, comment, subscribe, and leave reviews, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. Again, as always, keep your eyes on geekade.com for more fresh, original content. Back to you, Evan.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, everybody. The next time we're getting together, it is my pick for the show. Hold on. Ultra City Smiths, Season 1, Episode 1, She Don't Care. That is your homework. No spoilers, but Angie and I were pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Fuck. That's going to be a rough episode then, because I was not.
I think you went in.
You sounded like Roy Kent just there.
I'll take it.
I'm so excited.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of everyone here from this week's episode, I'm Evan.
I'm tired.
Fuck.
Sorry, Karen.
Good night.
And this concludes our broadcast day.